came about this, but
because you said you were doing art in school.
Well, I did. So I first went to school for anthropology because I wanted to work for National Geographic as like a journalist and go do like psychedelics with tribes and stuff.
Yeah, some guy just released a 500-mile run on psychedelics.
I saw that.
Did you?
I didn't read the article or
I didn't watch
the
it.
video,
My friend Johnny just sent it to us yesterday. He's like, "You guys should watch this. It's the best thing." And I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I went to school, but then I ended up taking meditation and jazz.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh shit, like this is actually like what I wanted to like study from like a objective kind of like I want to like understand like how people use consciousness to like expand themselves into like, you know, deeper ways of being.
Yeah.
When I was 13, I ate acid for the first time.
At 13?
13, I had LSD. It was the first drug I ever took.
On purpose?
Yeah, my buddy's older brothers had it, and so we're like, yo.
Wow.
And it was just like, I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And it just like, I started reading everything I could, became just like a freaking, just lived at the public library, studied everything I could, tried everything I could.
Yeah.
And that led me to like meditation and music where like, oh, this is like a way to, like, cause like when you have those experiences, have you ever had?
Never. I've not had anything ever of anything.
Really? It should be just a staple of society at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ranges, just like anything. You can have like a glass of wine at dinner.
Yeah.
Like, you can microdose where it feels like you're just in a flow state and you can work down no trip at all.
Yeah.
Or you can take like enough to where you have an ego death and you like experience a true connection with the oneness of all things. And everybody needs probably a different part of that spectrum. But my whole idea is that we're here to evolve.
Yes.
And evolution is basically two things. It's the exploration of what's possible.
Yeah.
And then integrating what's like profitable.
Yeah.
So they could try a bunch of things like biologically, cells explore different ways of being cells.
Yes.
And whichever one works the best, they fucking go all in on for a while.
Yes.
And then they keep doing that over and over. And that's what we should be doing with our minds or artistically, is exploring what's you're capable of.
Yeah.
And then whatever is working,
fucking
go all in on it. There's a word, I'm not sure if you've come across it.
Probably not.
It's called holon. Holon, H-O-L-O-N.
Hold on.
A holon. So a holon is something that is simultaneously part of something greater, but whole into itself.
Okay.
And it's what everything's made up of, right? So for instance, like you have an atom that's whole, and atoms together, you know, are parts of molecules, right?
Yes.
And then those molecules are whole, like a hydrogen, oxygen coming together makes water.
Yeah.
Whole into itself. But you put all those molecules together, you can make a cell. And that cell's whole.
Yeah.
But it's also part of an organ. And that organ is whole. Your heart's not your liver. It's whole unto itself. But it's also part of a physical body.
Yeah.
And that physical body's whole, which is part of an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right? Just fucking Russian dolls all the way up, right?
Yeah.
And so like when you're talking about sound and you're talking about how something can be, like when you're listening, right? And you're like, there is this part of me that has like kind of like the word in psychology is gestalt, where you take something as a whole, and like you hear the sound is like this like wall of kind of sound. There's just like this feeling, the vibe of the tune, but then you can go into it and like hear the bass, you can hear the drums, you can get down on like a granular level, right? That ability to expand and contract at will is like in my opinion one of the most important skills to have, because since everything's made up of that, like in your craft, you need to be able to step back and like look at the whole situation, you know what I mean? Then zoom into maybe taking a photograph and recognize that, okay, I should be on this side to get that shadow side of the face, and maybe have it backlit, get that a bit of a rim light, and then be able to dial in and dial out of your craft, to be able to have that nuance of control, to be able to see the big picture and know that this is something I want to participate in, and then zero in on the part of it that you want to participate. And then just interpersonally to be able to recognize that, like, I'm myself and I'm an individual, but I'm also part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And so how do I maintain my wholeness, but also be able to step out of myself and take a big wide view of my part of all of this, right?
Yeah.
And that's, if you think about it, that's like what spiritual practices are always trying to talk about. It's like this, how do you get from being this little limited self into this bigger self?
Yeah.
Like, how do you, recognizing that you're whole, you know, how do you get whole to begin with? How do you heal yourself to be, you know, a healthy human being? But then how do you expand to recognize that, like, you're not separated from everything else?
Yeah.
Like, just like the cell is independent, it's still the body.
Yeah.
Like, can you expand yourself to be the body that you, Tito, are a cell of?
Yeah.
And what does that mean? What does that feel like? And how do you behave from that perspective of identity?
Yeah.
And so can you contract yourself to be little you, and then can you expand yourself to be big you? Can you be humanity?
Yeah.
Can you be life and sentience?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can you be just the nervous system? Can you just be the tingle in your hands and your palms at any given moment? And it's not that you're supposed to anchor in any dimension. It's that you're supposed to have access to. At some point, you're going to have a conversation where you need to step out of yourself and like see somebody within the contextual cultural framework that they're coming from, and that will free you from ever taking like some sort of like personal, you know, confrontation toward it.
Yeah.
And then at some point you need to zero in onto your own health and be able to feel what the fuck's going on in my hip right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like on the micro level. And I think that people who get stuck at any of those levels, that's how we have like mental health issues. And maybe it's from having tried to make so much, you know, make things, is that I'm increasingly feeling or believing that things aren't necessarily built, they're grown, right? Like if you think about the plants in here, they're the most complex thing in here.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and these other things, they have like, they've been assembled, right?
Yeah.
And that's the difference. It's like something that's grown is like that conditions are in place to allow complex things that are beyond your ability to assemble to arise, right?
Yeah.
Like to grow, we don't know how to grow plants synthetically or grow human beings, right? Or anything like that. We can't assemble all those parts together. We can't bring atoms but we can create conditions like sunshine and water in the soil and
yes,
you know, all of that stuff to have something grow. And so the how does X arise?
Yeah.
It's easy. It would be nice to have the A plus B equals C.
Yeah.
But it's more like it's grown from the conditions and the momentum of things that are well beyond it, right?
Yeah.
That there's this like interconnectedness. So to make my point a little clear, like this is the way I understand it. There's two ways to kind of explain anything.
Okay.
And one of them is called ideologically.
Yeah.
And the other one's called teleologically.
Yeah.
And so if I had a knife in my hand and I asked you, what is this?
Yeah.
If you were to explain to me that if you dig in the ground and you pull metal ore out of the ground and you heat it up and you hammer it flat, that's what that is. That's an ideological explanation. It's the what. But then if I ask you what it is and you say it's a tool to cut, that's a teleological explanation. That's the why. What's the function of the thing?
Yeah.
Right? And so oftentimes when we're asking like how do you get to a conceptual level that understands or that like connects to these types of things or has this type of experience, a lot of times we're asking for the how do I make that thing, right? Not like how do I get the ore and hammer and like blacksmith this experience, or like what are the cells to atoms to molecules that make up that moment that I've captured on film, like, and how do I wrap my mind around it? When that's not necessarily the question to ask. You know what where I'm going with that? What I'm pointing to is like, because the question of like, what does it do? And why does it do it is actually more functional. It's more useful to live with. So instead of asking like, how did this thing come about? It's like, well, what the fuck do I do with it now?
Yes.
Like, what's the point
Yeah.
of understand? Why would you want to expand yourself into being able to listen to different types of music and to have this, like, what is it? Like, what am I cutting?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the other question to ask is like, well, am I cutting bread? I want a different knife.
Yeah.
If I'm cutting a tree down, I want a different knife.
Yeah.
They're both made the same way. And if I'm only worried on how things get created, then I'm missing the point of why they're created. And so like, and I think this is like one of the pitfalls of being creative, like being a photographer, being a musician, is that you have to understand your tools to begin with. That's the first step. It's like, how do I push the button? How do I control the aperture? How do I get my f-stop? How do I get the cables in the right spot?
Yeah.
And at some point you have to move out of the actual technique of the thing and move into this why.
Yeah.
To what end? To what point? To what is it? What is this music cutting?
Yeah.
Right? What am I cutting through? Am I cutting through my own distracted mind with an ability to anchor into this present moment?
Yeah.
Am I cutting through just the mundane, like going through life as a robot and not really taking notice of the minute like beauty in the world? And so I'm using the knife to cut through the mundane and make something significant.
Yeah.
That whyness, if you can land in that is the how. That is the condition.
Yeah.
That's the soil, the water, and the sunshine that allows those moments to grow. The real art is you.
Okay.
Right? The artist is the thing. And the mediums are this like intermediary substance by which you can push and pull against in order to make something, right?
Yeah.
But the medium is kind of like secondary to the you that has to show the fuck up and make that effort, right? There's just some sort of creative, deep, fundamental creative impulse inside of you to make.
Yeah.
And it comes out either in video, camera, this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
So really the practice is can you take a mind that's not grounded in the physical, right? That can think about the past, the future, think about things that don't exist, whatever. Can you rally all the dimensions of yourself into the physical world with one intent, right? Meaning that like, can you, if you want to make a painting, can you hold the vision of what it is you want to make and use a mediary to bring it into the real world?
Yeah.
If you want to play music, can you hold the vision of what you want to feel and use the intermediary of the music to bring that feeling into the real world?
Yeah.
Can you have some sort of like feeling or understanding or relationship to your experience and hold that clearly enough to that when you pick up your camera, you can capture it through that, right? So for me personally, the different mediums and stuff like that have been exploring that simple. And so to go kind of back to what I was talking about, how things are grown and not built, my understanding of it is that when I say like hold a vision, it's not that you have it all figured out, right? It is this like type of like feeling. It's this it's the creative impulse to take action. And if you are in tune with it and can feel when you're on track or off track, you're simply only able to see from one choice to the next, and you grow it through a series of a million choices over time. And the accuracy of you getting to your vision is how well you are able to listen to your own creative impulse in each of those actions. Because and that's what the craft is like how much can you continually reconnect to that deep part of your soul that's pushing you in a specific direction while you do a thing. And you're when you're first beginning, using the tools is so hard that you get sucked into the tool of like, how do I get it to work, that you're not listening to your soul. And that's what mastery is that the tools have been mastered just enough to where the soul is what you're listening and what you're playing or what you're shooting, and you're moving in harmony with that. Well, I hear my phone going off.
Is that my phone?
No, that's mine, but I don't know.
Sure, we have the same alarm.
Here's my phone. wait. You want to sit down?